Okay, hey, it's South Georgia Bass here. We're doing a video on finesse fishing, what it is, when you use it, how to use it, what your rod and reel setup might be, bait setup, all that good stuff. And in just a minute I'll get to you. After this video, there'll be another video of me using finesse fishing to catch some fish. I'm a little dirty, just got done mowing the grass, but I'm going to go straight into it. Basically, what is finesse fishing? Basically, it's a pressured water kind of technique. You usually use it in the midsummer, or not midsummer, kind of late to midsummer. Basically, when the bass is like burning freaking hot and the bass get really finicky. You know, they don't like to bite stuff because they're finicky. Midwinter time is another one. Usually, when the bass just starts slow, it gets so cold that you just the bite slows completely. It's crazy. Finesse fishing will get you in wintertime and midsummer. Basically, your rod and reel line selection. Okay, basically you want a spinning reel. Spinning reel is number one. It usually doesn't matter which one it is. It usually gear ratio and that stuff doesn't really matter crazy when it comes to a spinning reel, but I use the Lew's metal speed spin reel, and it is like freaking smooth as all get out. I mean, it works like a dream. The reel's in fine. I never had a problem with it. Then for my rod, I have a Bass Pro Shops Micro Light. It is a medium light action fast. And with my line, I'm using 8-pound mono line. Some people use fluorocarbon. I just use mono. I like mono. I've always had good experiences with mono on spinners. So I got 8-pound mono, and it has never failed me. It's never snapped anything. So basically, what you would use. First of all, also why you want to choose what kind of rod you want. Basically, you want a rod that bends enough, because then if it bends a lot, then it'll allow you to load up the rod, and it takes pressure off the line. If you have like a stiff rod, then the line can snap, and you have to like be adjusting the drag star and all kinds of stuff. But when you have a rod that bends a lot, it allows the rod you can load up the rod, and it relieves pressure on the line a great deal, like a great amount. And basically, you want to set your drag just before, usually just because the bass usually pulls kind of harder, sometimes the harder it doesn't, you know what I'm talking about. Basically your drag, you just want to adjust it to where you can, like if you were to pull really hard, really hard on it, you'd be able to start taking drag. You don't want it to be like, no, you can't take any drag at all, because like I know that using your bait cast, you're like, oh yeah, 20-pound braid, I'm going to adjust that drag all the way up, that fish is not getting away. Well, you can't do that with 8-pound mono. That line will snap. So basically, you want to adjust the drag to where the fish can take drag, and having a rod that you can load up makes it a lot easier on your line, so it doesn't snap. Also, usually you want your rod, you want it to be a lot light so you can load it up, but also you want it to have enough backbone to where you can still get a hook set, because if it's like all bend and no backbone, then you're not going to get a hook set. So basically, the one I got, it's a power medium light. The action is fast. I should put a link in kind of like the bio, and you'll be able to see what it is, how I got it, how much it costs, stuff like that. I'll put a link in the bio for the line, the rod, and the reel, so you get to see basically what my whole setup is. And then basically what your gear, like your baits and stuff. Basically, you want to use something kind of small presentations. Now, see, usually in mid-summertime, you could use stuff like your big old, or not, this isn't big, but like your spinner baits. Here's something. Here, I got a string of, this is a chatterbait, spinner bait, spinner bait. You can use big old spinner baits and chatterbaits and stuff. Or you could use like your big old crankbaits and square bills, all kinds of stuff. But sometimes that just doesn't work in like pressured lakes, because bass have already seen it. So usually finesse fishing, you can use, most things come with some kind of a finesse thing. Like there's finesse swimming jigs, flipping jigs, finesse jigs. But mostly when I use finesse fishing, I use soft plastics, because the presentation is just perfect. It mimics what they eat naturally just right. Basically, some different baits you use for finesse fishing. Usually it's something small, very small presentation. Usually for finesse fishing, it's not a bait. It's going to be like, hey, look at me. I want you to look at me, and I want you to come and eat me. Basically, it's like something natural. If the bass is going to crayfish doesn't want the bass to come and eat it. It wants to live. So basically, You want something that isn't saying, hey, come look at me. You want that bass to just be looking around and then maybe look one direction and say, oh gosh, something's moving down there, maybe I'll take it. But basically, here's the Yo Mama from Big Bite Baits. Don't think it has much of a scent. Scent does help out with finesse fishing because it'll have a fish to hold on longer, get more of a hook set. So this is the Big Bite Baits Yo Mama bait. You can get this at every Walmart. I've used this a decent amount. It is a great finesse fishing technique. I usually pair this with the Ned rig. I did a video, I think I did, if you camping, I'd use the Ned rig in the camping vlog, where I used it in that state park and it worked like a thing. But basically, this is a Zoom 4-inch meathead in green weenie color. It's 4 inches. It's not very big at all. But yeah, I usually pair this with the Ned rig. You could weed this rig it, but yeah, it's pretty small. Not really much to it. I caught a lot of bass off of just Ned rigging this or weedless rigging this, or just basically Texas rigging it. I've caught a decent amount of fish finesse fishing Texas rigging this. So that works. Another one. This was in the